and welcome. Thank you everyone for joining us and for celebrating our community day with us. It's such an honor to be able to reach out and engage with you in this virtual way. My name is Kirsten and I am your host for this final session. We are joined by some really talented people from Producers Edge. We're joined by Gonzalo and Spencer for this. And Producers Edge is a collective of creatives, educators, providing content, media production workshops, professional developments, and community program that celebrates artists and entrepreneurs out to change the world. Gonzalo Silva is a well-traveled and versatile DJ, producer, and teaching artist. Hailing from Union City, New Jersey, he is a member of the renowned Jersey Club dance music label and DJ crew Branded. His genre-bending style draws inspiration from his deep Latin heritage and an urban upbringing that involved various cultures. So thank you, Gonzalez, for joining us. And we are joined by Spencer. Spencer Forvith is a community organizer, educator, musician, videographer, and recording engineer based in North Jersey. Since 2009, he has taught music, sound design, video production, and beatboxing to youth for the Institute of Music for Children, Newark Schools of Art, NJPAC Center for Arts Education, and yours truly, Newark Museum of Art, and others. So thank you so much for being here with us today, and take it away. What do you have in store for us today?
Thank you, Kirsten. Can you guys hear me okay? We're good? All right, so I'm Spencer Fro, and you might see Gonzalo Silva. You don't actually see his face, you see his iPad. There you are. What's up?
Hello.
So we are the founders of the Producer's Edge, which Kirsten just told you a little bit about. I'm seeing right now that we have some other awesome people with us. Maybe I can introduce you guys if you don't mind. You don't necessarily have to be on camera, but it would be nice if you can. So I see Patrick Cooper. Say hi, Patrick.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
And
Thanks
Patrick, yeah, Patrick is a very accomplished music teacher and now music professor, teaching teachers how to teach. And yeah, he's a very cool musician. And Hester Lee, say hello if you can. She's just waving. There you are. Hester's actually my wife, my beautiful wife, and she agreed to come on with us. And Dana, are you there? Oh, that was your background. Dana's obviously like chilling on the couch, and he's right there. He's also works with us for the Producer's Edge. So I wanted to just say that they're going to be participating with us in creating music alongside us, and there may be a couple more that come in, but that's who's here so far. So what I wanted to do was we're going to use this app called Koala Sampler. And actually, I'm just going to make sure that if there's anyone else, we actually offered free codes. Okay, no one has asked us. We've offered free codes for people who register so that they can download it. It's $4 on iOS usually, and it's $5 on Android. And it's free on Mac. I'm actually going to show you my Mac version in a second. It is not yet available for PCs, unfortunately, but it will be, I'm sure, at some point. So what I want to do is share my screen, and I'm going to show you this little keynote presentation. So this is what we're doing today. Let me press play. Y'all see that? So the Producer's Edge, that's us, that's our logo. Beatmaking with found objects. And oops, I wrote found objects twice, but you get the idea. Taught by me and Gonzalo. So yeah, found objects being anything around the house, whatever's at your desk or, you know, around you. It could just be knocking on the table. You could, you know, here's my wallet, right? Everything makes a noise. You know, if I hit this with something like a pen, this is just a coffee cup, right? So That's what we mean by found objects. I'm going to click. Here we go. So if you email us at Producers Edge, New Jersey, I got to write that up. I'll share that later. At Producers Edge, New Jersey, NJ, really. Producers Edge, NJ at Gmail. You can get a free code. This is how you redeem the code for Mac and iOS. You go to the App Store. You make sure that you're signed in. If you're signed in, your photo should be in the top right, the top of the screen. You click on your photo, and in the drop-down menu, it'll say redeem gift card or code. If you don't see it, you're not signed in. It may ask to use your camera because sometimes you could point it at a card or something, but in this case, you're putting in manually, and then you put in the code and you tap done. So that's how you do it on there. And then on Android, it's pretty simple. You go to Play Store, you got to make sure you're signed in again. Tap the menu, which is the 3 lines, redeem, enter your code, and then tap redeem at the bottom. And that's how you get it for free. So you can email one of these fine staff members who are with the museum and get a free code. And you may want to do that after this workshop. You don't have to do it now. Even if it's a few days from now and you remember suddenly, we'll do our best to get you a free code, okay? So today, here, let me go to the app real quick. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to share. This is Koala Sampler. Let's check it out. So I have the Mac version that I'm sharing right now. And I'm going to full screen it. It has 2 orientations. So one is you see now it's wide, and here it's tall. So it depends on if it's on an iPad or a phone. It depends on if it's vertical or horizontal. But this is the full screen version. So what I want to show you is how this works. You notice there's 3 menus at the top. There's sample, sequence, perform. The great thing about Koala Sampler is that it does everything you need to do to create and perform music. And it's super simplified so that anyone can use it. We've taught this from like every age, kindergarten to high school to adults. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's fun. It's very entertaining. So for example, in the sample section, we're able to have not only these, what are these, 16 sounds, but we have all these banks. So we could do like 64 sounds. And uh-oh, my computer is frozen. Whoop, there, it came back all of a sudden. So I'm going to go back really quick to our presentation because I wanted to say sampling, the 2 main things. We're going to go into some more, like vocab and stuff. And you may know this if you've already done music, but just this could be a review. In music, sampling is the reuse of a portion or sample of a sound recording in another recording. Samples may comprise elements such as rhythm, melody, speech, sounds, or entire bars of music, and may be layered, equalized, sped up or slowed down, repitched, looped, or otherwise manipulated. So we're going to be creating our own samples, but you hear sampling a lot in popular music where they take sounds from another. It could be another song. It could be like a remix. If they remix something, they sample from the original, or they might find sounds like from a movie. If you ever heard of like someone using some kind of dialogue in a movie, in a song, that's a sample from the movie. And we're going to learn sequencing. So sequencing is programming of notes and sounds to play in melodic and rhythmic patterns and musical phrases. The important word here is patterns. Oops, I'm removing that. So let's continue, which are then arranged and or performed using a machine to execute the programmed information in order to play it back instead of a person or group of people playing their instruments live. So a machine being, it could be software, it could be some piece of gear, or in this case, an app is playing a pattern for you. You don't have to touch it. It's going to be playing it for you, and it loops it. looping, allowing it to go over and over and over and over again until you tell it to stop. So that way you have a lot of fun creating music because you don't have to play all these instruments. You could sequence them and it'll do it for you. So you can keep building up the sounds. Does anyone have any questions about that? How did I do, Gonzalo, in that little?
I think you did great.
Thank you. So I'm going to go back to Koala. Back to Koala. And now we're going to make some sounds. Gonzalo's going to do the main part, but I'm just going to give you a super quick intro. Especially because I'm sharing my screen from here. You all see Koala, right? I'm sharing my screen from here and it's super high definition. When you see Gonzalo's, he's using a webcam so you could watch his fingers press the buttons and stuff like that. But we need to invest a lot more money to get like a 4K HD super webcam. So it's easier to see right now with me showing you through this. So I wanted to do that. So basically, when you go to sample, you can just, hey. You hear that, Gonzalo?
Yes.
All right. So in this case, you could then, once you have a sound, you could press edit. You could change where it starts. It automatically put it at the beginning of the hey, because there was a moment where I didn't say anything. It was just room sound. Or I could take out some. The cool thing about this is, hey, let's turn this into a kick drum. Let's turn the pitch down. It's a little weird, but it's going to work. Right? And then I'm actually going to, you heard that I teach beatboxing. So I'm going to make a little snare sound. But I want it to be shorter. And now on an iPad or a phone or, touch screen, you would just press these buttons. For me, it's like I'm pressing 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, Q, W, E, R. All those are what trigger it on your keyboard. And there's all these options where you can reverse it like that. That's pretty funny. You could change the tone. You could change how it comes in or leaves. You could obviously change the volume. Pan goes from left to right, which you might not hear unless you have headphones on or a really good system. You turn off edit, and you could change where you're recording from. You could resample from the app, like sample something you've already sampled, which I think Gonzalo might go over. You can import a file, which is really cool. I think you can do that on the apps as well. And this is where you could monitor. You need headphones on. If you're wearing headphones, you can hear whatever's going into the microphone. Now, sequence. Let's create a quick sequence. Here you press record, and you hear a click. Now you could speed up or slow down this guy. Lower number is slower, much slower, see? Obviously, higher number is going to go faster. Slower is a little easier to start with, and we're kind of doing a hip hop thing, as we said. So you're going to play, and it'll... And then I could actually press this keyboard thing. This is fun. How does this work? Sweet. And then, I stop recording. You could just play it. And then in performance, you have all these effects. So you could do multiple at the same time, but it's a lot easier on touchscreen. So,
Spencer, sorry.
Huh?
It was a little hard to hear.
Oh, it was hard to hear?
Yeah. So I have the sound
but
through mine, so I think it'll probably be easier that way.
Oh, right. Oh, so it was going through my microphone?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't sure. So what I was doing was, you guys hear that now?
Yeah, it sounds a little better.
It's reverb, you know. So basically, all those effects are super fun to play with, and you could change between different sequences. We only have one sequence so far. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what a sample is and how a sequence works. So it's playing it automatically, like I said. And the performance part is the fun effects, special effects. And you can use special effects when you're recording as well. And we'll go into that later. All right. So I think we're good. I think, Gonzalo, we're ready to see what you got for us.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys. And
so we're going to be able to collaborate and make a beat together. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me clearly. My mic was acting up a little bit. There it goes. All right. Can you stop sharing your screen, Spencer?
oops, got it.
All right. So this is Koala. I have it open on an iPad. This is what I'll be using. But like Spencer mentioned before, you'll be able to use this also if you're using an Android. For most Android users, you could only use it like this vertically. So this is how I'm going to use it to show everybody. But you can turn it sideways, and it gives you a different look. But let's just focus on this. So how Spencer was mentioning, how do you get the sounds in here? So first thing you want to make sure is that you locate the microphone on your device. Now for me, I have a special hookup, or I have it connected in a special way that allows me to not just record the sounds that I'm making, which is actually coming through this microphone here, but I'm also able to record sounds that are coming from the call. So I'm going to record a sound myself. And why is my microphone dying? And I'm going to record myself making a sound. So here we go. All right. So what I'm going to ask everybody who's in, all our panelists, I need everybody to think of a sound that they want to create, and I'm going to record it and put it into our sound bank. So who is going to be our first person who wants to make a sound?
I got a sound for you, G.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Boy.
Nice.
Nice. All right. Who's next? Spencer, you got a sound for us?
Always. Let me do that with this guy. All right, you ready?
Ready? One,
Yeah.
two. Nice. All right.
Awesome.
I got one.
All right. You got a sound? Let me know when you're ready.
Ready. Who?
Boy.
Anybody else?
I want in on this. I have an old water bottle. Can I crinkle it?
Yeah. Make sure you take the cap off so it gets real crinkly. All right. Let me know when you're ready. 1, 2, go. Perfect.
That was awesome, actually.
All right. Anybody else?
Hester, you gotta jump in.
I got one.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow.
1, 2, 3. Nice. Okay. So just by using those simple sounds, I want everybody to take the opportunity to at least record something from around you. So the idea of this class today is to find sounds in your house. So you saw it was something as easy as a water bottle. I have my water bottle here. All right. Let me see if I can record that. Nice. And then you could also use actual traditional instruments as well. So I have a drum. I have this guy right here. So you also want to make sure that if you see this level right here, it allows you to see how loud the sounds that are going in. So you want to make sure that you're not too loud where it's clipping. And what clipping means is that when the red reaches the top and it just stays there. So I'm going to back up a little bit from the microphone while I record this. So here we go. still clip, but it's fine. Now, let's say, for instance, I want to erase a sound. So adding the sounds is just as easy as finding one of the red blocks, pressing it, it starts to record. I press it again, it stops recording. Now, I kind of jumped ahead. I want to make sure everybody has the right settings to be able to do that. And by that, I mean there is a function called hold to record. Now, I took that function off because I want to be able to have my hands free, both hands, to pick up an instrument and play something into it. So make sure you have the hold to record off. And how you get into that is those 3 lines over here. Bring up a drop-down menu. You look for settings, and then hold to record. Make sure it's turned off. Cool. So now my hold to record off.
Boy.
It starts to record. So how do I erase things? So for instance, this last part that I recorded, it starts to record. I don't think I'm really going to use that for anything, even though I can get pretty creative with it, but I'm going to fall back on that. I'm just going to erase it. So how do you erase something? All you have to do is press and hold down the sound that you want to erase and just move it up. And you see a trash can appear. And you just drop it in the trash can. And it disappears.
Like magic.
Good. All right. Oh, Spencer, can you make sure you check the chat? Somebody's asking for a download. All right. So the next step is how do we use these sounds? How do we make them? So, because right now there's just me beatboxing.
Boy.
That's the sound from Patrick. We got that. So we have to edit these sounds to kind of make them sound more like an instrument or however we want to shape them. So I'm going to start with this. I'll call it a kick, right? A beatbox kick. So right here is a button that says edit. I know it's kind of hard to see from my camera angle, but edit is right above here. And underneath that, it says delete. So you want to make sure you don't hit the delete button. So I'm going to hit edit. And what opens up is this window right here that allows me to see the sound in its entirety. Now, when I move these, you can see that parts of it get highlighted. Now, what I want to do is I want to focus on just grabbing this one sound and make sure I don't have anything else. So, for instance, that last little part I don't want. I'm just going to highlight the parts that I want. Once I'm done highlighting that, I can scroll through here and I'm going to look for an option that gives me crop. Now, crop is going to do is just going to cut everything out that is not highlighted. So here we go. Now the next step, for something like this, like a drum, I want to make this what's called a one shot. So the difference between a one shot and a sustained sample is one shot, I press it once and it plays all the way through. As a sustained sample, you see it cuts out the minute I let go. So to turn that into a one shot, I look for the option that says one shot. Cool. So now I want to start making this sound more like a real drum instead of my voice. So one of the cool things I could do is pitch this down. So as Spencer showed before, we can pitch things up and down. So the lower the pitch, the darker the sound gets. Cool. And we could probably turn the volume up just a little bit. I think I have the sound sounding how I want. So I'm going to move on to the next sound.
Boy.
So I'm going to look for that, the beginning of that sound once again. And you can zoom in. Okay, remember, use 2 fingers to zoom in. And then I'm going to zoom out and see that I have the rest of the sound that I want. All right, it's only the part that's highlighted is what I'm gonna keep. So now I'm going to look for crop. Crop. There you go. Now there's another option here too, and I'm gonna skip ahead to this sound. I think it's the one that Hester gave us. So the thing about this sound that is a little quiet. So I have the sound that I want. I'm going to crop it. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to normalize it. Now what normalize does is going to bring the volume up of the sound. Now you have to be careful with this, right? Because if the sound is already loud like this one, it really won't it won't raise the volume up that much higher, but it will make it distort. So you have to be careful with this. So one of the things that you can do is make a copy of something. So just in case you don't want to mess up the original one, to make a copy, you press and hold down the button and just move it. So now I have a copy. So that means this one, I'm going to normalize and see what it does. So normalize is right next to crop in the edit window. So we can already hear the difference. We can actually see the difference.
Sweet. I just wanted to mention that I put our email into the chat, and you could email us for a code. Just tell us if you have an iOS or Android. And also someone just said in the chat itself that they needed a code, and you could do that too, and I could just send it to you here.
Yeah, just be aware that that code is only good for one use.
Yes.
Okay. So
boy,
let me just quickly edit these other sounds. And I'm doing the same things. I'm basically cropping the sounds. I'm eliminating all the parts that I don't want from the sound. And I'm gonna turn it into a one shot also.
boy, boy, boy.
So I want everybody at home to do the same. Get your sounds, get acclimated with what you have there, pitch them up, pitch them down, make a copy of them, see how you could use it. The wonderful thing about this app, and this is really for me, I've had a lot of experience creating music just by samples. So sometimes these limitations kind of make you think differently of how you approach making the music. So let's crop that, one shot. Now, there's another feature on here. Good. So there's another feature on here that I want to show you. Also in the edit window. So I'm going to use it on this sound. And what I want to do is adjust. There's three things that I can adjust here: the attack, the release, and the tone. So what the attack does, it kind of brings a fade into the sound. So when I press it, that's at full volume. When I add a little bit of attack, you barely hear that first beginning of that sound. And when I add some release, the sound becomes a little gated, which basically means it cuts off at the end. So now we don't have that heavy bass sound, like it's snapping off. Now it sounds a little smoother. So we got
boy, boy, boy,
That's great.
boy.
all right. Now we have our sounds somewhat how we want them. Now the cool thing about this is that I can create sequences just using these sounds. Now I know what some people might be thinking. Sampling, a lot of the times when you think of sampling, and especially DJing, you think about just creating loops. And you can sample a loop. And what I mean by that is, like, for instance, I have this little rice shaker. Oops, here's my camera. So this, as opposed to, this is called a one shot. And this will be a little hard for me to create a one shot. I mean, I can get the forward of the sound and the back of the sound. So you also got to think about what kind of sound that you're going to be creating. So for instance, if you're hitting something, if you're striking something, that has one sound, right? But if I create a rhythm with this, I can also record that. But the beat per minute or the tempo of what I'm playing is going to matter. So let me just do that for an example. I'm going to record myself playing a rhythm on this. So here's my rhythm. Sounds good. But here's where you might run into a little bit of a problem. In our sequence, we can choose the beat per minute of the beat that we want to create. So one of the things I could do is I can tap in a beat that I have in my mind. I'm just thinking boom, boom, do boom, boom, do boom, boom. All right, so I'm going to say 92 beats per minute. All right. I'm going to turn this little signal on, and that's my metronome. So when I press play, you're going to hear the click. Cool. So that first click that you hear is what's called the 1. So what we're doing, we're counting the beats. So that first hit is the 1. Then the beats that count afterwards are 2, 3, and 4. That means it's just 1 bar of music. So this is what that sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Now what I'm going to do, I'm sorry? Oh, okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a sequence doing that. So here we go. First, I'm going to practice to see what kind of rhythm I'm going to create. There you go. There's my first sequence. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. First thing I did was create my samples and edit my samples. Once I have that prepared, I'm going to go into the sequence window and I'm going to create. First, I want to make sure that I have a beat per minute set. So think about what speed, what kind of song you want to create. Maybe listen to some of the sounds and see what that inspires. So in my case, I went to 92 beats per minute. And then to record, I make sure I have my metronome on. I'm going to go into a blank sequence. Remember that loudest click is the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I want to choose another sound.
Boy.
I'm going to do that. Great. So we can layer all these sounds together. So we can play them together. So for instance, if I play this, and let's say I want to add another sound to this. In order for me to add the sound, all I have to do is press the red, and it's ready for me to start recording. So I'm going to hit red. I'm going to let it cycle once. Now, once I create a sequence, these sounds, I could still go back and actually change them up and edit them. So for instance, that doesn't really sound like a snare. But I'm going to mess around with the pitch. Sounds a little better. Now, I can also combine these two sounds. So I can continue creating more segments, just like how I have. I can just layer more sounds onto it. Or I can take this sound and just copy it over. Now it gives me an option. I know it's hard for everybody to see, but I'll read it for everybody. It says mix or add to end. Do you want to mix these two sequences or add the one that you're dragging to the end of this one? So what I want to do is I want to mix them because I want both of those sounds to combine together and play as a sequence. If I were to add it to the end, one would play and then the next would play for a bar. But I want to mix them, so I'm going to hit mix. And now let's listen to what we have.
Sweet.
Cool. So I want to invite everybody who has the app to try to create your own sequence. And if you have any questions right now, please ask away. Let's see.
So the plan is to have the panelists create some samples, create at least one sequence or two, and then maybe, I know the sound might not be perfect, but maybe share what they've created as well. Did you hear me? I think Gonzalo stepped away for a moment.
I'm right here.
Yeah, so I was saying, so we want them to create their own
Yeah.
samples and sequences for a moment.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I'm gonna ask our panelists to just mute us, and I'll entertain you guys for a little bit.
Wait, stop for 1 second. Stop. Just wanted to say, Ariel had asked for a code, but you didn't say if it was iOS or Android because that's two different types of codes. So if you could type in which one, if you're listening now. And a few other people had emailed and requested codes in the chat or online or on the email. I'll share the email again just now, but I've sent out a few codes. So feel free to ask if you are on this and you want to try this out on your own. Nice. Gonzalo, I know you're going to show this again for the panelists, but can you show us how to save?
Yes, absolutely. I should definitely.
It's always good. It's good to save
I
like
should always show
frequently.
that at the very beginning because
I know
this is technology, and I don't think I've learned yet throughout this entire time. But yes, to save. So this is very important. You need to know how to do this. In order to save, you're gonna press the 3 lines on the right-hand side, and then you're gonna see the option that says to save as, which is the 4th one down on this drop-down list. And I'm just gonna call this Newark Museum. Now, what's cool about this, for anybody who uses any type of who's familiar with the actual recording process and works with DAWs, if you use Ableton, you can actually download everything that you've created as an Ableton link. I'm sorry, as an Ableton file. ALS
I think you
file?
go to export for that, right?
Yeah, and that allows you to not only have all the sounds as individual sounds, but also these sequences that you created. So it gets pretty powerful. And then also, if you have other things or other devices or apps that use the Ableton link, now Ableton link is different from the Ableton program. Ableton link is just basically a way for you to sync your devices. So if I had this, and let's say Spencer was over here, and we were jamming together, we could put on the Ableton link, and both our beats would be synced up. So whatever we change, whatever sounds we add, we have control over that.
We have a question from D Stokes. Is it compatible with DJ Serato?
Yes. They have the link in Serato, Ableton link.
And I got your email. Who is it? Justine Battle. I got your email, and I'm going to send you a link for Android, or email it to you.
Don't forget to check the Gmail, Spencer. We have some more emails coming in.
I see something from
Yeah.
Adia. I'll send it to you too.
Boy.
All right. So, I want to know if any of our panelists have anything to show us.
I know I have something once I finish sending.
I'm working
codes
on
out.
some chops right now. I'm trying to spice it up.
Spice it up.
While they do that, I do want to show one other feature that's pretty cool too. That's pretty unique to Koala. Well, not unique to Koala. I guess other apps do this, but not for this price. That's for sure. Big shout out to Merrick from Elf Audio Koala for providing everybody with these free downloads, so everybody can start creating.
Yeah,
So,
that's the developer who created the app.
Yeah, so big shout out to him. One of the cool things that you could do with this also is that I forgot to mention is that you have a bunch of effects built into it. So some of the effects you have are like the more bass, the more treble, fuzz, robot, reverb, octave up, octave down. My favorite is the bass synth. So now what I'm able to do with something like the bass synth, I can record my voice, and I don't have the nicest voice to sing, but I can turn my voice into a synthesizer, and more specifically, a bass synthesizer. So here, I'm going to try to do that. So one thing you have to make sure is that you have the effects on. That's how that window opens up. I'm going to turn on bass synth because that's what I want to create, the effect that I want to create. And just to make sure, you have a drop down menu here that allows you to choose either to record from your mic or record from an app. I'm obviously going to be recording from my mic. So let's record. Again, don't judge me for my singing. Here we go. La. That was pretty flat, but
I could have sung too. For future reference.
The wonderful thing about this app is that I can turn that, and what it did, it turned this into a synthesizer. And again, more specifically, a bass synthesizer. So this is what my recording sounds like now with the effect. So that sounds pretty good. So what I could do with that, so I'm going to add a little bit of attack, a little bit of release. I'm going to leave this as a momentary, and I'm going to go back to sequence. Now what I could do is I have these other features here. So we only created a sequence, but we didn't add any melody or anything to it. So I'm going to create a melody by pressing this keyboard symbol. Press that, and then I'm going to press the sound that I want to use. And then what I can do is I can play this in scales. And I can play it on top of this, so. And we can record that also. So one of the things that you can do also is right now we only have 1 bar of music, and all the stuff that I played was longer than 1 bar. So if I wanted to double up my bars or just double up the length of the song, I'm going to make a copy of this sequence. Now I have 2 sequences of the same length, but I'm going to take that sequence I added to the bottom and add it to the top. And again, this is going to ask me, do I want to mix or do I want to add to the end? Now, in this case, from the last one, I'm gonna add this to the end because I want to make it longer. So here we go. So now instead of a 1 bar loop, I have a 2 bar loop, and that allows me to just play a little longer. All right.
I want to interject real quick and say we have 10 minutes, so you know. And I also wanted to say that the Mac version, the Mac computer version that I was using is free. It's actually free. It should just be available. It is available in the App Store for $0. It's the iOS, you know, either using a phone or a tablet, it costs the money. So, you know, if you have a Mac computer, you could just download it for free. And someone asked, will I be able to rewatch this session? Maybe someone from the museum can answer that. Is this going to live on Facebook? Which would be cool.
This will definitely be available on our Facebook page and also our YouTube page later on. So you will definitely be able to revisit this and practice these skills that you learned.
Nice. So cool. Oh, did you ever answer if this is compatible with DJ Serato?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
And by compatible, I mean that you can link the Ableton link to Serato.
That's cool.
Yes.
And you could always get the your sounds out of here and put it into
Yeah.
anything else.
Now, just keep in mind for the folks that are linking things together with each other, the sound is still only being sent out of the device that you're using. So that means if you're going to be using something like Serato, then that means you got to plug this into some sort of mixer to be able to get the sounds to both be in the same mix. And also the same thing, if you're jamming with other people and you want to have everything played out, I would suggest plugging this into some sort of mixer so that way you have access to everything.
Sweet. And Patrick just said he got super carried away, so I'm really curious what he's up to. If our panelists would now would be a good time for them to show and tell a little bit.
Cool.
I believe. Do you have something, Patrick?
Oh, I'm ready to go. I just got way carried away.
That's fine.
Well, I've got, for the people at home, I've got an aux cord running into a audio interface. So my audio should be able to come just right through once I change my input, hopefully. Let me try and also explain what I did really quick, because I think once I switch over, you won't be able to hear my voice anymore. But my first sample was just a thud on the table. And then my second sample was a Velcro sound from a little wristband. Third one was a lighter hammer flicking down. And then a fourth one was a tone from a pan flute. And so let me see if I can let you all hear me.
Can we spotlight Patrick?
I think he's spotlighted. Yeah, we heard it. Sounds great. Those last two were a little quiet. If you wanna. Oh yeah. Can you turn it up a little bit? Sounds awesome.
Also not sure if you have your original
Oh,
sound.
there it is.
So, there it is.
Oh my gosh. That was amazing. Honestly, you did that you did that very fast. That
I
was
got really
cool.
into it, guys. That's fun. I've never used the Android version before. I've done the iPad version, and yeah, if you've done the iPad before, switching over to the Android version was super simple.
Yes, once again, big shout out to Merrick.
Yeah, seriously, hooking it up.
Dope. I just want to read a couple of the comments that we have over here on Facebook. Justine, yes, I guess we did send that over. The codes. Nicholas Honiak said, just wanna say super quick that I have never seen a museum deliver content about the art of music production, and as a music producer, this is so appreciated. So thank you, Newark Museum.
Yes.
Yes, right. Hi. Oh,
Woo.
this is Kristen. She's responding. I've noticed an export function. So yes, you can export all this stuff. So it doesn't matter what kind of DAW you use to record. You can export the sounds and get real funky on it. Hesser, did you want to show what you created?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So I basically recorded, I think, can you guys see this? Oh, I got a pad. So I have a couple of sound, which is, can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
All right. So let's listen to a sequence. I think it's pretty funny. All right. So that's the little sequence, and I'm not quite sure of the perform right now, but I'll give it back to you.
That was cool. That was fun. Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I wanted to get the cat noise in mine so bad, so I'm glad.
Oh yeah.
I
We need
got
to
my
collaborate. Cat
I was trying to
collaborate.
now so I can sample it.
Elaborate. Data J, did you have something that you want to share with us?
I'm here. I can get it. I can get to it. Let's see. Let me switch. Okay, I'm using an iPhone. Let me know if y'all can hear the sounds. Oh, okay, boom. Okay, so started with this one. Can y'all hear that?
Got it.
Okay, sweet. So I did that one. That was one I've been familiar with the program, working with you guys for a little bit now. So I had a sample in there, I think from the other day that I had started. And then during the workshop, I was gonna try and catch different parts of what we were making, but then I just got inspired to make my own stuff. So I made like different, like with my mouth and like different beatbox sounds, like, oh. So now we can go to sequence, and then this is what I did with that. Yeah. Sweet.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I think like when your microphone is on your phone and you're playing it out of your phone, it's a little it gets a little quiet, but I heard it. It was really, really
So you
cool.
send that to me. That's a cool thing too. We could also collaborate with these. You can send me
Yeah.
that file, export it, and then I can open it up on mine and add some more things and send it right back to you.
So should I show mine real quick and then we'll be kind of
Yeah,
like the
that's
time is up, or should
yeah,
I?
our time is up. We got like another minute. Do you wanna have that to be the outro music?
Yes, please share, please.
Nice. Well, yeah, let's do it through my mic. It's easier that way. So I have it's coming out of my headphones now. Amazing. But that's not what I wanted. Hold on. Oh, I see why. Do you guys hear that?
No.
You just turned muted for a second.
Yeah.
All right. I think that
Outro up if we need.
I think that instead of having technical difficulties, let's stop it there. And you all can just applaud for me because it was really good.
Yes. Woo!
Just assume how great it was.
Woo!
Thank you.
Because I have like a million things and I think it's confused on Zoom.
So thank you.
But that was so awesome. Thank you so much, Newark Museum, for allowing us to, like, you know, share our passion for music and some of our knowledge. And Gonzalo for showing, like, creating that amazing beat, and everyone, all of our panelists. I'm super happy. And just because our panelists are grown-ups, we're children at heart, we're kids at heart. Kids can do this too. So don't feel like, oh, you have to be a grown-up to make music with Koala Sampler, because you know, just get it, practice, and create something really cool too.
Well, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure from the museum point of view having you all here with us. You guys are so talented. I'm so impressed. I'm feeling very inspired. For everyone tuning in on Facebook and everyone on Zoom, please reach out and support Producers Edge. They have Facebook, they have an Instagram, they have a website. You can engage more with them, learn some more about this awesome software, Koala Sample. From a visual arts point of view, I'm curious if you guys like make a composition based on a painting. Like, do some sounds of the painting. I think that'd be pretty cool. So it was such a joy having you guys here. Thank you again for joining us. And I want to invite everyone to come back to our next community day. It is on November 1st. It is a Sunday, and we are celebrating Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, and we're going to be celebrating and honoring and remembering our community. So we're going to be bringing together food, people, dance, and traditions. We are going to see and learn how cultures celebrate and remember their loved ones. We're going to have story readings, cooking demonstrations, dance performances, and much more. So please gather around your computer with your loved one. You can join us. You can join us on Zoom or Facebook, and all that information will be on Eventbrite and our social media platforms and our website. So that is all we have for today. I hope this inspires you to continue this tech party and make some fun beats for tonight, and I hope you enjoy your weekend. So thank you everyone again, and have a great one.
I think I got my beat working. Let's see. So I press play on it.
Is that on a high note?
Yeah, our outro.
Press play. I'm pressing play and it's not doing anything. I have been thwarted again.
This goes to show you, you need patience in addition to the software, and practice and enjoy. So that's all we have for today. Everyone have a great night.
Bye.
Here it is. You hear that?
There we go. Now we got it.
Yeah. This is Producer's Edge. We got that edge. We got the skills to pay the bills. All right. Thanks for coming along on this journey with us. Thank you so much once again, everyone out there. We're probably going over, or we're probably not even on Facebook anymore. Either way, I've had a great time.
Outro.
Woo! All right. Oh, I see how